Good evening, everyone. My name is Gloria, and I'm here to talk about stigmas and stereotypes within mental health. When I was younger, my mother would always be accused of being insane or crazy or on drugs because of the behaviors she experienced, or rather she displayed. I remember there was this one time where my little brother went missing. He had a habit of just leaving and no one knew where he was. And so I went to help my mother find him for only 2 minutes. She gave up looking and searching for him. We went back in the house and then she called the police. Police got there. She was just on her phone, didn't appear to be concerned. The officer was really upset. So he asked me if he could ask me some questions. I was a kid. I just said, sure. He said, did your mom have any drug history or mental health history? So I look at him like, what are you talking about right now? And I was like, no. So he was like, okay. And then as time progressed and went on, I realized that my mother did have these issues, not with drugs, but mental health. I realized that she needed some help, so I convinced her to get a mental health evaluation when I got to be an adult. And it turns out she has schizophrenia. A lot of times when people with mental health conditions are experiencing erratic behavior and they have a undiagnosed mental health condition, it's perceived as crazy or insane rather than a cry for help or a need for a mental health evaluation. And a lot of times people who have mental health conditions are seen as violent or insane because the media is portraying them in a certain way, and because we have all of these platforms that are disposal nowadays, people read things without doing their own research, without educating themselves or actually talking to psychologists and people who have the license or have the education to back them up, and are misinformed by people who don't have that behind them, especially like with mass shootings and all. People tend to view the entire mental health community that way, or people who have mental health disorders, they tend to view them all that way. Criminals come from all walks of life. Not every criminal who produces a handgun or weapon and uses that in some dangerous or violent fashion has a mental health disorder. As for being misinformed, statistically, people with mental health illnesses and conditions are more likely to be victims of violence rather than the perpetrator. Another stigma is that people with mental health are lazy or unmotivated, when they could just be experiencing a spout of depression, which causes them to be very fatigued and lose interest in activities they once enjoyed. Our neurotransmitters in our brain, dopamine and serotonin, controls our pleasure center and our response to outside stimuli. And a lot of times people with depression, those levels are way down versus people who aren't experiencing depression. Another one is people are just flawed. Like, oh, you don't have a mental illness, you're just very flawed. So because of that, a lot of individuals don't go and receive the help that they need because they feel shameful, or they feel, oh, I just need to work on myself, nothing's wrong with me. I've placed that stigma on to myself. That nothing's wrong with me. I'm just flawed. I just need to work on this. I just need to work on that. When in reality, I had ADHD and bipolar disorder, which I was diagnosed with. So to that end, my challenge to everyone is, when you see people having erratic behaviors, not to just automatically assume that they're insane or they're crazy or they're lazy or they're unmotivated or they're flawed, but simply to step in and see what you can do to help them get more misinformed, support awarenesses and causes that go for mental health. That's my challenge to you. Thank you.